Alright folks, so another month has passed and I think it's time I rank the films I saw, the new releases that I saw in March. Let's do it. Alright folks, so right off the bat, coming in at number 9 has to be Coming to America. This is my least favorite movie of the month. Unfunny, unoriginal, borrows from every cheap cash grab comedy on earth, and it exists solely for the money, and it feels like it has a lot of money thrown at it just to make that money back and be a temporary success, because I mentioned in my review lots of relevant jokes, right? So this film is obviously not trying to become a timeless classic. It's more so trying to cash in on that easy money in the 2021 COVID landscape. Did not enjoy it that much. It's a fine story, but there's nothing new about the story. So, Coming to America at number 9. Coming in at number 8 has to be Cherry. Folks, this film is way too goddamn long. Really nothing to say about any of the genres that it parrots. Each section is sort of its own genre within itself, and it doesn't do any of them excellently. I think it does them all sufficiently. And I think that, the style is nice. I actually quite like the style. A lot of people thought it overbearing. I enjoyed it. And I think that was, obviously the most unique thing about the film. But folks, pretty sort of a mismatch of a ton of different genres, and a bit weak, all things considered. Disappointing. Cherry at number 8. Coming in at number 7 has to be Chaos Walking, another Tom Holland film. I'd say it's solid, but disjointed. I think the concept is absolutely incredible and really carries the film entirely. It is a very unique concept that a lot of people can understand and sort of put their shoes in. And I don't like the quick cut action, very reminiscent of the Bourne series. I hate it. Actually, it's one of my least favorite things that an action film can do. But it's, it's few and far between, I'd say, honestly. And I think the Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland journey, which is what most of this film is interesting. Rushed ending, though. Folks, coming in at number 6 has to be Godzilla vs. Kong. There's some great moments in this film, some great fight scenes between Godzilla vs. Kong, but there's just a ton of setup that is not interesting in the slightest, and again, that also happens in a subplot with Millie Bobby Brown, some conspiracy theorist guy, and some Australian kid. That stuff really drags the film down. The fight scenes are nice to watch. Good stuff. Folks, coming in at number 5 has to be Raya and the Last Dragon. A perfectly solid, good animated movie with some great action, and there's some really nice adventure elements in here, and it does some creative stuff like assembling it sort of a new cast of a new crew at each location you go, getting one new member of your crew. I can't stand the dragon, which is of course the second main character in the film, so that's not good. And I don't think the themes, not in all animated movies obviously, but in quite a few, the themes are not very subtle, and this is one of the most egregious offenders of that. But there's enough fun to be had here. You will probably like it. I liked it enough. Number 5. Coming in at number 4, The Courier, Benedict Cumberbatch. It's a very well-made spy thriller, but I don't think it ever has any really stellar moments. I'll say the beginning is tedious with all the setup that you need to have, and not interesting really. And then, as the tension increases, it obviously gets more interesting. But there's a ton of Cold War, genre films, ton of spy films, and I don't think this film ever does a ton better than those. Perfectly fine watch. I had a good time with it, but not a lot great. Not a lot of excellency here. Ending the B tier, folks, is Zack Snyder's Justice League. I will say this. The best moments in this film are better than not only anything else on this list for me, favorite, sorry, I should clarify, but better than anything I've seen this year, because there's just some great stuff in this film, some really fun stuff, specifically the last sort of act, the 6th part, I believe it is, in the film, with the finale, the conclusion, that final battle. It's all awesome stuff, right? It really is great, but unfortunately, a film is the sum of its parts, and the parts in the beginning are awful. It is a 4-hour movie, and you feel pretty much every minute of that for the first 2 hours, because you need to set up all these characters, and it takes so damn long, and it doesn't help that there's so much slow-mo and whatnot else. And it's just, it takes forever to set up this much stuff to get to the actual important stuff. I said stuff like 4 times in the past minute. But Zack Snyder's Justice League, some great moments, a lot that is just so boring. B, number 3. Folks, coming in at number 2 is the action, fun and funny, Nobody. I really enjoyed this film, and I think, if you know anything about it and you want to see it or you have seen it, then you probably like it too, because you know what you're getting, right? The sheer brutality, sort of John Wick-esque, some actually really great acting, Bob Odenkirk, but who doesn't love Christopher Lloyd? Good villain. A lot of personality here. There's some heart in the backbone, a backbone of this film with, sort of a mundane life, a family man that a lot of people can relate to. And I think there's just so much fun to be had here. Limitless fun, a great time, sort of short and sweet. I like that, they don't try to push it. Good movie. But folks, coming in at number 1 is, I like to distinguish best and favorite. I saw Nomadland this year, so I don't know. But this is easily a contender for one of the best films of 2021. The Father has to be number 1 here. It is heartbreaking, magnificent in really every corner of filmmaking except the pacing. Now, I know it was intentionally slow, but that doesn't change the fact that I was definitely less captivated than that the film wants me to be at times because of the slow pacing. Would I have changed it? Probably not, but it still impacts how I feel about the film. So this film is absolutely an A, for sure. And it is just, there's so much about this film that is just so well done. Pretty much every other area of filmmaking is just excellent. Some great acting, for sure, from Olivia Colman, and Anthony Hopkins, cannot be understated, folks. A heartbreaking film that is unlike anything I've ever seen. The subject matter is so well explored because director Florian Zeller sort of approaches it like a maze. He wants you, I believe he used the words, I said it in my review, but I saw afterwards that he too described the film as a labyrinth. That is the feeling that you are supposed to have watching this film. A unique experience that I've seen nothing like before, and a masterful film in pretty much every regard. The Father's number 1 of March, an A. Folks, that's my ranking of the films in March. Honestly, April is looking very dry. So I would expect, if we're lucky, half the films that I ranked in this list. I ranked 9 today, maybe 4, hopefully. I'm looking at right now, I think I count 3 that are on my radar. Folks, I'll still be here in April. I'll have a lot of content. The Oscars are in April. We got a ton of good months. March was a great month, I got to be honest. A lot of great films in here. At least every film had something redeeming, maybe, except for the bottom 2 or 3, I don't remember. But folks, I've been EDPC Reviews. You've been amazing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in April. If you want to, check out some other videos on this channel. Boom. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.